All right, y'all, we've got new Hermes today. We got the $145 foundation. I can't get over this shade being called bleh. I got this in the shade 7N, and it's a little bit too light for me. I bought LN1 and LN2 in the new Prada concealer. None of this is a first impression. I've had a chance to really give these a workout, and I have a lot of thoughts. I bought 3 of the new shades in the Westman Atelier Face Trace Contour Stick, and I also have Biscuit, which was the one that I had before, and we're gonna swatch all of them, apply some of them, and talk about them. And then I have this whole bag of MAC Powder Kiss lip and cheeks and also matte lipsticks that I bought. And also I have been testing the new Urban Decay Tube Job tubing mascara. We did already try this on camera, but I have been testing it in the capacity that I bought it for, which was to see how it looks when I don't really have other eye makeup on. And so we'll do something really simple, natural looking on my eyes, and y'all will get to see how this looks on its own. So yeah, I have a lot of thoughts on these. Let's go ahead and jump in. Honestly, I'm not gonna bury the lead here. The Hermes Plein Air Luminous Matte Skincare Foundation. Well, I bought it because it said it was luminous matte, and sometimes luminous matte can be really great. You know, I'm looking for like the Chanel Revitalizing Camellia one. Like, there are ones that have that satin texture and also have the right amount of balance to the moisture in them, that they behave really beautifully even on my dry skin. This, my friends, is not one of them. When they say luminous matte, they mean matte in the sense that it is oil controlling, and luminous in the sense that it might be more luminous than you're used to if you need oil control. But it is not for my skin type. I have tried it so many ways, so many times with so many different skin prep, setting mist, powder, cream, blush, bronzer, whatever situations, and it is not meant for me. I don't want to say it's bad, but I don't think that I'm the person to review it, like give you an up or down on that. I just want to show you how it behaves, because a lot of times showing you how it behaves, people go, oh, actually, it's not for you, but it's for me, kind of thing. So I bought it in 7N. It's a little light. It would be a fantastic concealer shade for me. And the undertone is like perfect, so it is truly neutral. Oh, by the way, quite scented, but I don't mind the Hermes scent. There's something about the way that this applies that is so strange, because it goes on way sheerer than you think it's going to. And I kept thinking it was because I was putting on a lot of skin prep. I was like, well, it's a kind of drying foundation. I'm gonna really like moisturize my skin. And I was like, the foundation doesn't really want to stick to that, you know? And so I gave it some time. There's stuff on my skin, obviously, like skin prep and stuff, but like I gave it some time to dry down so we're not slippy sliding. And I just want you to see, it's like, do you see how it like we get coverage, but it doesn't really like building. Like, it doesn't seem to build evenly, and so it seems to want more to be something that's sheerer, but it's like a sheer-ish, like low coverage, satin matte foundation, and by the end of the day, it looks like hot garbage on me, like no matter what I do. It's very reflective, which is making it look like it has more coverage than it does. But I'm telling you, like when I do that, it's like, oh, you think it's gonna build, and that's not what it wants to do. It wants to be really thin. So it's unique. It's unique in the sense that there is a customer for a low coverage mattifying, like oil controlling foundation, and they're not that common. I really am glad that y'all liked the last video. I really appreciate all the really positive feedback and stuff. You just seem to get a lot out of it, and that's what I live for. I love making useful content. And while I was making that video, I was kind of mentally exploring all of the combinations of things, because a lot of times we do think of matte foundations as being very full coverage, because there are a lot of them out there like that. Brands almost assume that if someone wants a matte finish, they want full coverage. But I was like, it's not unheard of, and it's certainly not impossible to have a different coverage level with like a matte finish, right? I mean, there's certainly full coverage dewy foundations. Why not, right? This is not, like I said, it's not for my skin type. I'm gonna turn it down now that I'm so reflective. You see how it's just kind of like powdery on me? It's just, you know, it's like particulating a little bit. I don't know if that's a shade match issue. Like, I really need to do a chemical peel for so many reasons. I think that it's more that it is such a thin formula that has oil control to it. I don't need oil control. I need all the oil in my skin to stay there. And I need a foundation to assist in keeping my skin moisturized. So like I said, this by the end of the day looks completely nuts, but I do think it has merit in the sense that like it has a very strong point of view. Like, it knows what it is. And as far as performance, it does perform. Like, it doesn't disrupt, it's very long wearing, it just makes my skin look like a crepey mess by the end of the day. So if you're looking at me and you're going, oh my God, you know, this is exactly the finish I wanted and I have combo skin, like, you know, maybe. It is hard for me though to go out and tell somebody who isn't my skin type to spend $145 on a foundation. It's wildly, wildly expensive. So I highly recommend, if you are interested, if that piques your interest, what I just said, and you're like, maybe this is for me, go watch some more reviews. You know, I shouldn't be the final word on whether this is going to work for you. I can just tell you it doesn't work for me. All right, next we're going to be playing with these. These are the new Prada concealers. If you've been watching my channel for a minute, you know, a few months, you probably remember in a recent Tepid Takes when I was talking about products that like I wanted to see, I said, I wish Prada would put out a concealer, and then like, I don't know where they just like announced that they were putting out a concealer and everybody sent it to me. They were just like, look, it's happening. And I was like, I guess I manifested this. But yeah, I went ahead and bought two. I got LN1 and LN2. I have some really good news for some people, okay? And it is that LN1 is green as all get out. That thing is green, 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 okay? Like, it is pastel green almost to the point of like, you know, being Prada's green color on their packaging. I'm kidding, it's not. But I did buy two because I didn't know which one was going to match me better. And like that lightness, it's okay on me, but like the undertone being as green as it is, it's just really desaturated, and so it's just very green. It's a little much on me. It's a little jarring. I do end up looking a little too ghostly. Fortunately, and I wear LN5 in the foundation, LN2 in the concealer, ended up being pretty much perfect. So they are different in undertone, because this one is definitely more of like a pinky neutral, but it's gonna look more pink compared to that green. Now you can see it's actually pretty neutral. And then that one, it's so desaturated that you're basically seeing like gray mixing in with like the yellow, and you're getting a green effect. So for all of my pale olives, how have I not said that yet? That is just news you can use. I do like this concealer. Let's put it on and we'll talk about it. I think it's, you know, probably really expensive. I mean, I did buy it, but I don't remember how much it cost. And so I always want to be careful being like, oh my God, this is the best thing that I've ever tried, because it's parting with a lot of money. But I like how lightweight it is. I like how when I put it on, I then forget it's there. I'm not sure if it's as like miraculous as the foundation has been in my routine, but like, I don't know. I think it's kind of growing on me in the sense that a concealer in my routine needs to serve a different purpose, or I have different expectations of it than I do a foundation. A foundation, I'm just like, okay, I'm relying on you to give me the right amount of coverage and the right finish and the right thing for my skin type, everything we mentioned in the last video. A concealer, I feel like I'm a little more adaptable in terms of what I can enjoy in a concealer. Mainly, I'm just very specific about the fact that I need it to conceal. And like, we had a little bit of an issue the last concealer that we tried on camera, which was the About Face. And someone told me in the comments, hey, definitely let that sit there for a minute before you blend it, and you're gonna get more coverage out of it. But if you don't do that, I mean, it just evaporates. When you start blending it, it doesn't look like it's going to. It looks like it's gonna be really thick and creamy, and then it's just like, where did it go? This, you can definitely see that we're getting like a nice amount of coverage, and it is wildly thin. Wildly thin. It is not what I would call moisturizing. It is very solidly like a satin finish. So I don't really find that I need to powder it with my ultra dry winter skin. So I can use just like cream products and stuff and pretty much let it be, which is great. I would liken it to a higher performing, like luxury version of the Tower 28 concealer. I really liked the Tower 28 concealer, but a lot of people found it to be like kind of unkind. You know, it did sort of grab and gather on some people. And I feel like this has a little more elegance to the formula on the dry down. Like, it just has it has a little bit more of that like Kosas thing where it like flexes. The finish on it is a little bit more matte, but it's also really perfecting. And I would be really interested to see all the rest of the shades swatched, because like, you know, in person, because this is astounding how green this very fair one is. And like, that's wonderful. I know that it's really, really hard to find this color in a concealer at all. And a lot of times that doesn't leave you with a lot of options in terms of like what formula you actually want to use. And the formula is lovely. I feel like a lot of people can get use out of this formula because it has like the right amount of coverage. Again, wildly thin. And so I feel like you could kind of wear it, you know, on its own sparingly if you wanted to, but it is effective. Like you see how it covered all of my blemishes, and I would say it covered them about like, you know, 90%. I think it's a really, really flexible, lovely concealer. It's very different from something like the Cerakreel. The Cerakreel is thicker and creamier and more hydrated, and it does, you know, still dry down and everything, but I mean, in terms of like the way that it blends out, I feel like the Cerakreel is like 3-4 times as heavy as the Prada. It is weightless. It's wildly weightless. I think that's one of the biggest things that you notice right out of the gate when you use it. You're like, that is feather light. It's crazy. So I think that that actually really lends itself to being kind to under eyes in a lot of circumstances because it's just not piling a bunch of product up. I like it very much. I've been using it a lot. This shade obviously is too light for me, but my goodness, I think that this one's a real winner. Okay, let's swatch the first 4 shades. Gucci Westman has been very busy. She came out with a whole bunch of new shades in a shade extension for the Face Trace Contour Stick. Now this is something I have loved since the beginning, but like, you know, she had just this like kind of clean beauty celebrity line there for a while, and it was like one shade of everything and it was all for white people. And she has very wisely, as she's been in Sephora, broadened her shade ranges, and like this is a pretty impressive expansion on the shade range. And I have to say, I'm very impressed with like the nuance and also the uncommon undertones of these. Now beware, since they're magnetic, sometimes they stick to each other and sometimes they bully each other off of your desk. I had that happen. No one likes to see a $48 contour hit the ground. It is funny though, how I used to think that Westman Atelier was so expensive, because it is, but everything else has gotten so expensive and Westman Atelier has never raised their prices. And so everything is just like rising with them, and they're over here with a, you know, a $48 contour. Dior's over here with a $50 contour. It's like, okay. Like this used to be the most wildly expensive clean beauty brand you could possibly imagine. And now it's like, I don't know, it's just kind of normal luxury, you know? And you really get a lot of mileage out of these things. I've never finished one and I have used the daylights out of them. Okay. Let's swatch. First, we have the new shade Olay, as in Cafe Olay. And boy, that looks like Cafe Olay. That is light, light, light. It is too light for me. It just is. And honestly, I'm happy to say that. That means that, you know, this is more inclusive. There are more people who can now use this product. That is too light for me. And I don't want to say rosy. I don't want to say rosy, because Rebecca, my green friend, has been sending me swatches of a bunch of contours on her arm, and let me tell you, they're all orange. So I don't want to like get out over my skis here recommending a contour for a green undertone that looks like that, because like there is a 50-50 chance that that turns Cheeto orange on your skin, just depending on how green you are. So then I'm gonna go ahead and swatch Biscuit, which is, you know, my original shade in the line. And you can see why that other one is so light, right? It's such a pretty color. It works really harmoniously with my skin, but I think I'm pretty squarely in the middle of her target audience from like 2018, 2019. You know what I mean? And like, that's why. The next one here we have is Toast. This is where we start getting into like these pink ones. The rosy. Look at that. This is why I bought them. Y'all really, honestly, I got them mainly to swatch because, again, I think when I first looked at the new releases, I was like, this is for someone else to review. Like, I already know that my shade works the best for me. And it's true. I think the Biscuit still works the best for me. But like, that's a blush. I'll use that as a blush. She already has some really gorgeous blush shades, but I'll use that as a blush. I'm not mad. And then we have Cocoa, which is also pink. In fact, it's mauve. It's like a mauve brown. In all of Rebecca's contour swatching today, I was like, I think that you need Cocoa. She's gonna be texting me as she's watching this video going, oh crap, I need Cocoa. Add to cart. Because if you are green undertoned, the green is going to mix with the kind of red pink that's in there, and you're going to get like this mixture of brown, but then there's also blue in there. So it's gonna be kind of a blue brown. And that blue brown is going to create a believable looking shadow on you. Pfft, You know, she and I have backed out of that math many times before as to why a contour doesn't look like a contour on her. And it's because when you're green, your skin naturally like repels orange. If anything has like the slightest bit of orange in it, it's usually going to glow at least like a bronzer. It's not going to look like a believable shadow. And I was like, I think you need to go all the way to purple. You know, I actually recommended, I was like, maybe you need to use like Garçon. Actually, let me grab Garçon and Mimi and swatch them against this because those are the two blush colors that I think are the most similar to these. They were right on top of the drawer because I like them so much. Yeah, my assessment that Rebecca could use Garçon as a contour was pretty astute. They're not the same color. They're not the same color, okay, Gucci, Westman. I'm not bad mouthing you, but like they're pretty darn similar. So that's why I can use that as a blush, which is great. Happy for it. And Mimi is her like desaturated peach that's only on site, and it is a standalone. Like I feel like it's not close enough to any of those to really matter. I'm going to apply, I think, the darker three of them. We're gonna go with Biscuit, and then I'm gonna use Toast as a bronzer, although it is pretty rosy, and then I'll use Cocoa as a blush. But I'm not going to put on, what was it? Olay. Here's what I wanna do though. I don't wanna apply Biscuit first because y'all have seen Biscuit a million times. I actually wanna start with Cocoa and see how far we get with it because I think this is the most, I guess both of these, but I think this is the most fascinating color from my standpoint. It's absolutely gorgeous. Pulls a lot of the purple from my lips. I just have a clear lip balm on right now. I have the Glossier Balm.com Mint. I like it because it's matte. It's like weird. I think it's because I've been more into eye looks lately that I have been very anti-glossy lips, which is so not me, but I feel like it just looks so over the top. Like I've hit an age for me. Like I feel like my appearance at this age, I'm not saying everyone's appearance at this age, but like it feels like due to aging, I have hit a point where when I apply a full beat and then a lip liner and then a glossy lip, I look like a real housewife, okay? Throwing a wine glass energy, I look like Lisa Rinna to myself. I'm just like, dang. And I love Lisa Rinna. I mean, I do love Lisa Rinna, but I don't really want to like look like her every day, you know? It's a little much. So it's gorgeous, right? That is a blush for me. And for everybody who's like, that's a blush, you know what I mean? Like, why is that even called a contour? It's a contour for olives. Honestly, I might just send one to Rebecca because I have a vested interest in seeing how this looks on her, like curiosity. But I think she already has Garçon, and so I think we were talking about her digging it up and trying it as a contour. Either way, I need to get it into her hands and test it. I'm just using that to kind of contour my eyes. I don't know. It's a little too pink for that, but that's okay. We're gonna end up with plenty of makeup on today. Not to worry. All right. Let's now go in with Toast. I'm gonna use this as kind of a bronzer. I think it's just gonna fill in a little bit of hollowness here. Interesting though that like these are shades, yes, they start to get a little too dark for me. Like I said, they're hollow, like I kind of need to fill them in a little bit, but that they are just different undertones of the ballpark of my skin tone level. So it gives me options. It's not just like which one is right for me. It like actually gives me options, which is, what do we want? Options. So you can see, maybe you can't see, but it's just a little browner, you know, it's not quite as cool. Very pretty. And you can see now why maybe I don't want to put on a whole eye look because, I mean, this is going to be a blush and bronzer blind kind of look. Now, if you are completely unfamiliar with this, I should tell you what the formula is like, right? So yeah, if you are unfamiliar with this formula, it is fantastic. It is nothing like what you would or what I would have expected in like 2019 working with clean beauty. I mean, they still self-identify as clean beauty, and I did a whole year in 2019, I called it Clean Routine 2019, of only testing brands. Do you see how that just changes everything? This is Biscuit. Oh my goodness. I called it Clean Routine 2019 and I only tested brands that self-identified as clean because I kind of wanted to see if there was anything to it. Turns out if there's anything to it, it's not one thing across the board. You know, a lot of, well, all brands really like have their own take on what it means and kind of like what their mission and like purpose is in excluding certain ingredients and stuff like that. And sometimes it really hampers performance. Sometimes you end up with a clean beauty product in your hands and you're just like, yeah, I feel like we started it clean and then we never really got to beauty. But this has always been this like wildly high performing line. All the sticks. You know, the other products that have come out since then are a little more hit and miss for me. The skin tint drops are not my thing. They're very squalane based. Squalane, something about my dry skin. It's a balancing oil for oilier skin types. And so when I put it on my skin, it just sits there. It's really weird. It doesn't know what to do. And so it's a really just kind of uncomfortable, slushy, no dry down kind of thing for me. And that's because it's not for me. I like her lipsticks, but I want to see some grungier shades. There are a few grungy shades, but I want that rusty red that I've been really seeking out in a lot of lipstick shades lately. I want that in her formula because it's a really lovely formula. So there we have all the contours except for Olay, right? Absolutely beautiful. Maybe this is I'm calling an audible here. It's a game time decision. I'm wondering if Olay could help blend my under eye right there. We're gonna find out together. Putting it on a like kind of bigger concealer brush here. Oh my god. So I think my next video is going to be a face swatching video of beige blushes. We did one years ago. I always feel like they're so much more recent than they were, you know? So we're due for an update on it. And I think I'm going to try and concentrate on messaging around who each like color is for from an undertone standpoint a little more than I have in the past. So I never like wax or anything. So there's always these like clusters of invisible brow hairs right there. That's why everything gathers, but like I cannot be bothered. Okay, we're looking a little dewy. It feels really comfortable, but we're looking a little dewy. So I would like to grab my brand new, I bought it at the Sephora sale in November, but I have yet to open it. My brand new Kosas Cloud Set. This finally happened. Like the lid just fell off of the other one. I don't know if that's planned obsolescence, but I think I got most of my use out of it. Alex and I did yoga earlier and I am toast. It's like hard for me to find my thoughts right now. So I'm just kind of mattifying selectively here so that the dew looks intentional and not sweaty, I guess. You know, when it's all over my face, I can start to look a little sweaty. Okay, let us open up, that's my address. Open up this bag of stuff that I ordered from Ulta, and it is all MAC. I'm gonna swatch all of these lip colors for y'all real quick. The way that I was scared that all of these were going to go out of stock because that's what happened when they released the nudes, and B, I really just couldn't decide. They were all so pretty. MAC has just been crushing it with the grungy shades lately, and I was like, ooh, I want a powder kiss. So yeah, there are two formulas here. I've got this Powder Kiss Lip and Cheek Mousse, and I will be putting some on my cheeks, and then I have the Powder Kiss Hazy Matte Lipstick. As usual, they smell like vanilla, which is delightful. Here is the shade Habit. I've been really liking this one. It's a little bit more grungy than Warm Hug here, which is just slightly a lighter peach. And I feel like when I put this on my lips, they kind of start to disappear into my face, which is a vibe. It can be a vibe, but like it's just not always exactly what I'm going for, but maybe, I mean, maybe, we'll see. We'll see what we end up with today. But like that makes, both of those are fantastic lip and cheek colors. Some of them I don't want to put on my cheeks. Like this, which I could not resist because it's weird. You know what I mean? I couldn't resist the weird shade. So this is, it's personal. I am not enough of a historian of MAC to know like the history of this formula and you know what went away, what came back, what shades are old, what shades are new. Please let me know. I admit that like I am not going to be the best source of information on this. That's wild how close that is to my skin tone. Like I was blending it out, I was like, is that like a sheer thing? It's not, it's the same amount of opacity. It's so similar to my skin tone that it just blends in. Then we have Over the Taupe, which does sound like a classic. That just sounds like a MAC classic, doesn't it? Yeah, and I wouldn't say that that's Taupe MAC, but God, that's pretty. Ooh, I haven't applied that one yet. But we're so brown. We're so brown. I think that that would be kind of overkill. Like that's pretty much the same color as, where did Coco go? There's Coco. Over the Taupe, Coco, Garçon, Mimi. It's so, I mean, it's not the same, but it's so similar. I think it might be that one. Let's test the lipsticks though. Let's see. Here we have Taken. It's one of the bullet lipsticks. Ooh. So Taken is very similar to Over the Taupe, in my opinion. Big promotion. This is a kind of greener brown, and good for you. Just reminds me of Lucille Bluth. Good for her. Yeah, and I don't think that's my color. Just a little dark, and it's gonna be hollow. It's not that I can't wear it, it's that I would need to fill it with something, probably one of these. So let's make a decision. You know, I feel like we need to go different enough from all of the cheek stuff that I just put on that it has impact, and for that reason, I think we're gonna go Warm Hug. It's a little weird because it does kind of, I'll show you, it sort of makes my lips disappear, but I think that it's also a kind of interesting effect. Starts out quite saturated, and I mean, you know, Violette has something similar to this that I like pretty well. Oh God, I don't know, a bunch of people probably do, but I think that this one is more comfortable. It's a little bit more moisturizing. It's a little more hydrating. It stays movable. It doesn't dry all the way down. I mean, I guess eventually it does, but I adore this finish. I love it. I love that just kind of like hazy thing. It's just, it's so pretty, and then you can just kind of blend the edges, because I am a medium contrast girly, so I want all my lines to be really soft. And then I'm gonna put that on my cheeks too, because why not? It's a lip and cheek. I'm gonna apply that with a BK112. This is the brush that I use when I'm not sure. You know, I'm just not sure. Like I said, this is going to be a blush blind kind of look. But I have really missed a coral blush. I will say, while it does work on the cheeks, I am not going to say that it is its ideal format, okay? Like, it is persuadable to do so, but like, first of all, it is better on the lips, and second of all, there are other easier things to work with in that. Not so much because it's like hard to use on your skin as much as it is like, yeah, put it on the back of your hand, it like loads into the brush, like the brush is gonna get, like it's gummed up with it. I guess I could have used a sponge, but it's not what it seems to want to do. It's just about kind of like how you like to apply your makeup. I mean, it wears a long time. It's absolutely beautiful. I do think that it's very agreeable on the skin, but it's also a very local color. Like, it's instant local color because it's so like matte and kind of light absorbing that there's not really any nuance to it once you get it on the skin. It's just, there it is, you know? By the way, I'm not applying more. I'm just trying to kind of spread it out. And we're back to having like sockets under my eyes right now. I'm gonna grab Dim Light from Hourglass. There, blendy blendy. I have my tricks. I'll also use that to just throw on a little bit of shadow, because we are basically just going to put that mascara on, but I don't want my little eyeballs to just look super neglected. So I'm just using Dim Light, continuing to use Dim Light. It's just a very like soft taupe. All right, again, just for the sake of, damn it, I just want y'all to see exactly what it looks like. I understand that like when I tested it the last time and I compared it next to the other, it was kind of hard to like see it because I already had a bunch of eye makeup on. So I think that this will be very valuable. God, what a great eyelash curler. I have like 10 eyelash curlers, and I just kind of pick up whichever one is nearby. This is the Shiseido one. So if you didn't tune in 2 videos ago, this is the dark blonde taupe in the new tubing mascara from Urban Decay, which I am not a pearl clutcher. I just think that this like is an egregiously tasteless name. I just don't want to say it. Not because I'm just like, ew, that's gross. I'm just like, I don't know, ew, that's gross. Maybe I am clutching my pearls, who knows? But this is the first time that I have found a mascara, a tubing mascara, this color, and it's neat. I like that I can wear it without anything else, and it doesn't overwhelm my makeup look. Because when I put on like black brown mascara, dark brown mascara, it looks like I forgot to put the rest of my eye makeup on. I have very small, close set eyes, so I do like to wear mascara, give my eyes a fighting freaking chance, but I don't always feel like doing an eye look. Eyeshadow can just get to be so much sometimes. You're just like, I just don't feel like rubbing a brush into my eye socket right now. Not every day, you know? I want to be able to feel pretty without it. Hit the ends here. I looked and this one's, I think, $25. So it's not the most expensive tubing mascara. I'm not sure how it compares in terms of how much you actually get, but I think it's more like you get 3 months of the mascara. It's like not about how much they give you. It's about whether it just lasts 3 months and then you throw it away. 0.32 fluid ounces. Yeah, okay. And then Thrive, which is a very abundant amount, is 0.38. I wonder if I need a brow, like a strong brow in this situation. I think that I always regret not. I absolutely love how that mascara makes my eyes look. Love. Like I feel so pretty. I feel like it made such a huge difference in this makeup look, like pulling it together with just putting on mascara. That's awesome. That's like exactly what I wanted out of that. It makes me really, really happy. Honestly, I think we could have done without brows altogether. But yeah, I want to apply some of the clear from Kulfi and like particulate them back out. In the meantime, I am going to piss everyone off. No, not everyone, but there are some very vocal dissenters. You will not come between me and my very freckled pen, okay? Especially since I'm going for a light eye look, you know? I want it to just kind of look, oh, barely there, even though I'm wearing like 15 cheek products. Still, I want to draw my freckles back on. Alex, when we went to Mexico, his freckles came out in the sun. And he has the cutest little freckles underneath his eyes. Oh. His cheeks get all rosy. All right, yeah, this is about done and I need to order another one. So I will add that to my next Sephora order. I've also decided that I would like to buy the Fleur body oil. The new one in Vanilla Skin. I don't think they're going to send it to me because I think it would have arrived already. And I, gosh darn, want it. Okay. So this is a little bit different. Usually we just like pound on a whole bunch of eyeshadow and then, you know, I do something, I don't know, a little more subtle on the lips. I'm very pleased with how this turned out. I think it's really pretty. It feels kind of vintage khaki in a way, not because I would typically do the, you know, lip eye combo, but just because like we put on so many cheek products. I could not convince myself not to. And it does. It looks like more blush era khaki and I'm happy. Oh, I love it. So let's talk final thoughts on the things that were new today. I made myself pretty clear on the Hermes Plein Air. I do think that it is better than the original Plein Air, the skin tint that they did, because I was like, what is this? Why is it $85? But I feel like this is a little bit similar just in the sense that I find that it doesn't immediately want to adhere to my skin. It's almost like it's so silicone-y, it sort of floats on top, but it translates to oil control, but it's sheer and kind of satin matte. It's a fascinating formula that is not for me, but I love that it is as low coverage as it is because it's very, if it's your skin type, very easy to wear. It's $145. Okay, let me think. What is like this that, it's hard to say because I don't own, if I own a matte foundation, it's by accident, you know? But I mean, to say that like Chanel is cheaper than this by like a lot. I think that like the #1 Day Chanel Revitalizing Camellia foundation, it's not the same and it's gonna have a little more coverage, but it's similar. And I really like that one. I feel like it's pretty flexible, even for, obviously for dry skin. It has a little bit of the Makeup by Mario to it. It has a little bit of Dior Backstage to it, to be honest. Because Dior Backstage is still a little bit satin for me. I can't get over how low coverage it is for what it is. Yeah, it is. It's a unique formula. I think, again, it has a purpose for existing in its uniqueness. It is for someone, it's just not for me. And definitely go and watch some other reviews from other people before you decide whether it's for you, because I cannot be the final word on something that's not meant for me. I can, however, give y'all some very complete thoughts on the Prada concealer. In my last video when we talked about foundations, we were talking about how a natural finish is something that is designed to be kind of a catch-all bucket because it's like, it appeals to everybody. We don't want to exclude anybody. Who doesn't want a natural finish? But the fact is that if what you want is this kind of like natural finish, like this semi-satin sort of finish, and you don't need a ton of oil control, this works for a lot of people. Like this is a crowd pleaser that aimed to be agreeable to a lot of people, and it is. I feel like it's in between the Tower 28 concealer, the Kosas concealer, and something else that's just insanely lightweight. I don't know of anything that's like that featherweight. Maybe the Makeup by Mario foundation. The new Makeup by Mario foundation is so wildly weightless. So yeah, it's like a combination of those three things, but I think that it's lovely. And also I love that L2 is my ideal neutral shade, and I believe that it is truly neutral. Plus you can kind of, like I said, you can always kind of fudge it a little bit more with a concealer as long as it's not like too dark usually. And LN1, while it is too light for me, oh my God, ultra pale olives, rejoice. Oh my God, look at that color. It's green. It's green. Maybe that's the thumbnail. It's green. Wheel. All right, well, I'm cracking myself up now. I think that mainly we were reviewing the Westman Atelier shades, right? Because this is such an old formula that if you love it, you know that you love it. It's a very high performing formula. So I will say Olay is for the fairest of the fair. And I still don't know if it's necessarily for a fair olive. Like, I don't think that it's going to be a contour on a fair olive necessarily. I think it still might be a bronzer on a fair olive. But when we get into Cocoa and Toast, those are contours for olives. Maybe not for the fairest of olives. It might be a little bit much, but for a light olive, a medium olive, ooh, like that rosiness is just what the doctor ordered. It's going to just react against your skin in a way that doesn't polarize and turn orange, and it's going to create this like believable shadowy brown, right? That is what most of us can just buy, right? It's finally taking into consideration the color theory of what an olive person needs in order to make a believable shadow and a contour. So I think that both of those are lovely. Oh, I do just adore these little MAC formulas. The lipstick is great too, and we'll use those in another video in the future. Obviously, I only have one pair of lips, but, well, God, I need to get off camera. But the Powder Kiss Lip and Cheek Mousse, made in Korea. Shocking, not at all. This is definitely a very K-beauty type formula, and it is it's a really exquisite version of one, okay? I love it. It is somehow both that silicone-y powder finish that I feel like just, again, it sort of like disappears in a haze on the edges of your lips. Oh my God, I love it. But it also is hydrating. It doesn't feel drying at all. The ones from Violette are kind of drying, and I've come across some that are kind of drying in the past, and these are not. They're lovely. So I'm a big fan, and I'm also a huge fan, obviously, of the shades that they chose. Again, I'm not a MAC historian. These might have already existed a long time ago, and maybe they just like, I don't know, added a few shades and called it new. Not sure, gave me an excuse to buy them, okay? And like, I'm in love. I'm in love. I put all of them on the other day. I just kept wiping them off, putting them on. I was like, oh, I have it. Like that one too. You know what I mean? It's like I couldn't figure out which one I liked more or liked best. They're all so good. They're so pretty. And I was wearing one through the whole, I was wearing Habit through the whole last video. So you can see, and talking for, I mean that video, the raw footage was an hour and a half solidly, and I didn't reapply. And you could see it started to, I don't know, it just makes like a line of demarcation on the inside of your lips. But like most people are not using something like this under those circumstances. And I mean, it's not like a total dry down situation, so you could wipe it off and reapply it. It's not like, oh no, I need makeup remover or something. So I just want y'all to have like a realistic idea of what it does and how it wears. It doesn't stay like this forever, ever, but like, you know, it stays pretty similar. And the Urban Decay Tubing Mascara in Dark Blonde Taupe. Let me get really close here. Can y'all see? Can you see the color? I don't know. It's like impossible for me to know because I can't look at my monitor while I'm looking into the camera. But it's the right color. It's like the color of my eyebrow hairs almost, maybe a little bit darker, but like it's all the difference in the world between that and a brown mascara with no other eye makeup on. It would look so out of place. It's just really high contrast and it like bugs my eye. The fact that my eye is so relaxed looking at this face of makeup, like the mascara is just perfect. It's so perfect. I'm so happy to have found something that does this. Because usually I just forego mascara in these circumstances when I don't put on any eyeshadow. And now I have options. And what do we want? options. So that's it, y'all. These are a bunch of pieces of makeup that I've been really, really excited to show y'all. Yeah, I mean, you know, not all because I absolutely love them, but just because they're unique. And like, that's what I'm in the market for right now, is like fun, unique products. And I hope that y'all enjoyed this. If you did, please give the video a thumbs up. If you are new here or you just haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe while you're here. We would love to have you. I will put a video up here that I think that you'll enjoy if you liked this one. I appreciate y'all being here. I love you so much, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.